Yes. Yes. Oh, Mr. Cameraman, could you come in here a little bit closer to me, please? Thank you. Listen, I wanted to say something right up front. I made a promise to myself, and it went something like this: spend more time in front of the camera in 2015, all right? So, here it is. Look out. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Paint by Monster with me, your host, Easel Monster. This week, I thought I'd draw you a picture of a fish sandwich and talk to you about a tool that has been important to artists for a really, really long time. All right, guess what it is? I'm sure some of you are thinking food stamps. That's a good guess, but that's wrong. Nope, it's this. This is a sketchbook. Now, of course, you put sketches in there, but you could also write down notes, quotes, recipes, thoughts, scribbles, doodles, anything that can come out of your brain and go down onto the paper. Basically, a sketchbook is a place to keep your ideas. Now, I know most of you thought you keep your ideas inside of your head, but that's a good way to lose them, especially the older you get. Go on, ask your grandma sometimes if she writes things down so she doesn't forget them. I bet she tells you yes. When she does, tell her how smart she is. Really make a big deal out of it. Then ask her for a cookie. Also, ask her for $1. Speaking of ideas, let's talk about ideas for a minute. Artists and creative people get asked all the time where their ideas come from. Usually it sounds like this.
Where do your ideas come from, huh?
And the creative person will usually look off in space like this and say something like, well, my ideas come from everywhere. I just never know what's going to inspire me. And that answer is not helpful at all. It makes being an artist sound mysterious and distant, instead of inviting people to use their own creativity. And that's no good. I think there's an answer to the question, and I think it's pretty simple. So, where do ideas come from? I think ideas come from when your dissatisfaction plays together with your curiosity. You look around, you see something that you wish was better. Now, if only you're dissatisfied about it, but not curious, you'll probably complain, but you won't do anything about it. Just complain, and boy, won't you be fun to be around. And if your curiosity shows up without any dissatisfaction, then you might go off and study a lot and learn a bunch of stuff about it, but you won't go exploring to try to change anything. The dissatisfaction inside of you says, nope, this is not it. And the curiosity inside of you says, I wonder if it could be like this. You need both. So, if you want to have more ideas, try to get your dissatisfaction and your curiosity to play together. Then, you'll get all the ideas out of yourself you'll ever want. All right, let's get to this week's art, Goldfish Sandwich. See, let me tell you a story about this. One time, I was out fishing on a magic lake, and I caught this fish. And just as I was taking him off the hook, he says to me, please don't eat me, because I am a magical fish. I am a gold fish. I will give you pieces of gold every single day if you just don't eat me. Please, please don't eat me. And I looked into his eyes and I said, all right, here's the deal. I'll take you home and I'll put you in a bowl and I won't eat you, and every day you'll give me a piece of gold, right? And he said, right, that's what I'll do. So I took him home, I put him in a bowl, and he would give me a piece of gold every single morning. I had a lot of gold laying around, so I started making stuff out of it. I made plates out of gold. I had some gold shoes that I made. Those are nice, and they're heavy, but, hey, I'm walking around on gold. And then I got used to walking around on gold. I sort of like how it felt up next to my feet. It's almost squishy gold. They call the property of gold malleable. You can hammer it. That's why people make so much stuff. Anyway, I got used to walking on gold. It's nice. So I just started taking them every single morning when he would give them to me, and I'd just throw them outside. And I started making little roads and little paths out of them, and I'm walking on gold all the time. And then one morning, I went out to the bowl, and the fish said, I believe you've had enough gold now. I'm going to stop giving you gold. And I said, I think you've forgotten the nature of our relationship. And so he didn't give me a piece of gold. And it was right then. I thought, fish sandwich. He was tasty too. And believe me, I've eaten a lot of magic fish. So remember, there's lots of magic fish in the sea. I think maybe he'd have been a little better had I eaten him just a few weeks earlier. He sort of tasted like he was starting to run out of magic. You know, they don't quite taste the same. The magic goldfish and I used to sit around and we'd talk about magic a lot. And we used to talk about magic wands. This is the real magic wand, a paintbrush. You can make magic with that nobody's ever seen before. You can take people to other places. You can make them think different things. I'm trying to capture the nuance on the face of the magic fish just at the moment when he knew I was not kidding. This is watercolor that I'm using here. It's a translucent. Usually it's some people talk about it like it's a drawing medium. Some people talk about it like it's a painting medium. They say that because you are adding the color on top of white rather than pulling the lights out of the darks like when you paint or when you oil paint, acrylic paint, things like that. Anyway, coming up here's some gouache. It's acrylic gouache. There's more opacity in the white of that stuff, so cartoonists in particular will use that to correct mistakes. Acrylic gouache. That's how you pronounce it. All right? Back to the watercolor. It's translucent, so you can just keep building layers and layers and layers, and you can work as wet or as dry as you want. But because it's a drawing medium, here in a minute I'll show you, it plays well with other dry media once it's dry. Here's what I mean is, you can put colored pencil over the top of watercolor. They play together okay. Okay, so does acrylic paint, really. Let me speed up here real fast, and we'll get to the colored pencil. All right, here goes. And in my best golf announcer voice, this is colored pencil. Get the best you can afford, buy them as you go. That's true of all tools. One of the other things that the magic fish taught me was that time is made out of rubber. So you can squash it, you can stretch it, you can speed it up or slow it down. Remember I said at the end we'd maybe use some acrylic paint. Let's get to that. Let me speed up again real fast. All right, the blue here is acrylic paint. Sort of a nice finish, I think. Remember I told you the magic fish used to give me gold, and I used to throw it outside. So let's make that outside part look like the gold that's outside my window. Monster. Well, all right, let's talk about this art, okay? What do you think about that? Well, it's a cartoon, obviously. Now, cartoons are sort of a visual shorthand, and this is unmistakably a cartoon. It has sort of one focus. It has one clear point. I think that's even reinforced by the way the subject matter is presented. It has one clear point. One thing I would like to change is this lip dot pattern right here. This seems, I don't know, decorative and ridiculous. So, rip, done. Yeah, like that. All right, like and subscribe this video, and remember, go make some art. Make a drawing or a painting. Go make something entertaining. Make some art. Go make some art. Go get your pencils, paints, and papers, plasters, chisels, markers, scrapers, rulers, canvas, brushes, hammers, nails, and tape, guitars, and super glue. Get glue and macaroni, cameras, frames, and fried bologna. Go get anything you need for making art. That gnawing feeling deep inside that you can't do it isn't lying to you. Get up off your butt and make some art. And for information on how you can own the original watercolor you saw me make on this video, click the link. I guess I'll send it to you.